All right, I want you to hear this. This is from Benedictine College. This is Kansas City Chiefs kicker Harrison Butker. Butker's jersey, you should know, on the NFL fan site. His jersey is now one of the top sellers, selling more than Patrick Mahomes' jersey. For those of you who know nothing about football, they play on the same team. Mahomes is the quarterback. Butker is the kicker. He's from Decatur, Georgia, went to Georgia Tech, is the kicker for the Kansas City Chiefs. He is a devout Catholic. This is part of his speech.
Bad policies and poor leadership have negatively impacted major life issues. Things like abortion, IVF, surrogacy, euthanasia, as well as a growing support for degenerate cultural values in media, all stem from the pervasiveness of disorder. Our own nation is led by a man who publicly and proudly proclaims his Catholic faith, but at the same time is delusional enough to make the sign of the cross during a pro-abortion rally. He has been so vocal in his support for the murder of innocent babies that I'm sure to many people it appears that you can be both Catholic and pro-choice. He is not alone. From the man behind the COVID lockdowns to the people pushing dangerous gender ideologies onto the youth of America, they all have a glaring thing in common. They are Catholic. This is an important reminder that being Catholic alone doesn't cut it. These are the sorts of things we are told in polite society to not bring up. You know, the difficult and unpleasant things. But if we are going to be men and women for this time in history, we need to stop pretending that the Church of Nice is a winning proposition. We must always speak and act in charity, but never mistake charity for cowardice. It is safe to say that over the past few years, I've gained quite the reputation for speaking my mind. I never envisioned myself nor wanted to have this sort of a platform, but God has given it to me, so I have no other choice but to embrace it and preach more hard truths about accepting your lane and staying in it.
Well, he didn't stay in his lane, and they're all upset about it. I actually want to read you the part that's getting the most controversial condemnations from the press and from the left. This is from Harrison Butker's speech. For the ladies present today, congratulations on an amazing accomplishment. You should be proud of all that you've achieved to this point in your young lives. I want to speak directly to you briefly because I think it is you, the women, who have had the most diabolical lies told to you. How many of you are sitting here now about to cross the stage and are thinking about all the promotions and titles you're going to get in your career? Some of you may go on to lead successful careers in the world, but I would venture to guess the majority of you are most excited about your marriage and the children you'll bring into the world. I can tell you that my beautiful wife, Isabel, would be the first to tell you that her life truly started when she began living her vocation as a wife and a mother. I'm on this stage today and able to be the man I am because I have a wife who leans into her vocation. I'm beyond blessed with the many talents God has given me, but it cannot be overstated that all of my success is made possible because a girl I met in band class back in middle school would convert to the faith, become my wife, and embrace one of the most important titles of all, homemaker. She's a primary educator to our children. She's the one who ensures I never let football or my business become a distraction from that of a husband and father. She's the person that knows me best at my core. And it is through our marriage that, Lord willing, we will both attain salvation. I say all of this to you because I've seen it firsthand how much happier someone can be when they disregard the outside noise and move closer and closer to God's will in their life. Isabel's dream of having a career might not have come true, but if you ask her today if she has any regrets on her decision, she would laugh out loud without hesitation and say, heck no. That's it. One paragraph in an otherwise very long speech. That is the portion causing the most condemnation. It's not just he took shots at Pride Month and transgenderism and Joe Biden, but those aren't what's causing the biggest source of controversy. The biggest source of controversy is that Harrison Butker praised his wife as a homemaker, leaning into that vocation. That's why he's being condemned. And what it amounts to is this. Harrison Butker makes a lot of money, millions of dollars, and he dared voice a view held by people beneath his station in life. If Harrison Butker was a middle school football coach and said that, nobody cared. Harrison Butker was a conservative talk radio show host. Some would complain, but nobody would be out for his job. But Harrison Butker plays in the NFL. He makes 7 figures. He went to Georgia Tech. He's of the elite and had the audacity to voice an opinion that the elite find disdainful, so he must be punished. The National Football League says nothing when players beat their wives and girlfriends, but feels forced to condemn Harrison Butker for praising his wife, for praising the role she plays in his life and that of his children, because it is anathema to the political elite of this country that a woman might want to stay home and raise her children. I know of what I speak. My wife is a stay-at-home mother. And there was a time in my life I was not earning the money I'm earning right now, and I worked 3 jobs so that my wife could stay home with our kids. And this is before we knew she had cancer. I got extra work so my wife could stay home with the kids. And it was like we were falling out of polite society that she might stay home with the kids. And in fact, there are those to this day who would look at my wife with a college degree and an advanced technical degree in computers who stays home with the kids and can't believe she gave it all up for that. What did she give up? My wife has incredible memories with our children, and my children have incredible memories with their mom, and it became all the more meaningful when she was diagnosed with an incurable form of lung cancer that my kids were able to have time with my wife, but she made the decision before all of that. And here's the dirty little secret they don't like, and you know, this is where Megyn Kelly, I very much like. We have a great relationship, but there actually is plenty of data out there that shows that the kids who do best in life are the ones who have a parent who stays home with them while the other works. You're not allowed to say that. You get condemned for saying that sort of thing. I said it on TV. Megyn Kelly got mad at me. She's like, well, all the research says, well, now at this point in life, we all know how a lot of these major institutions do research to affirm the views of the progressive elite. But actually, the Institute for Marriage has a ton of data that shows kids raised in a 2-parent heterosexual household do better than all other kids in life, and those who one of those parents stays home tend to do the best. And by the way, it doesn't have to be the mom, but usually it is. That's the data. You may not like it, but it's the truth. And what I've found is that when you say this sort of thing and it is truth, people come after you ferociously. They deny it. It is a form of outrage that you find with, like, when you debate transgenderism and whether it's real or not, you must be shut up for daring to say the truth. And Harrison Butker not only shared the truth, but Harrison Butker is rising or descending beneath his station in life to take that view. And I'll add all the caveats here. It's not the right decision for some people. I have a number of friends who are moms who love their children, but they would lose their minds if they stayed home all day with the kids. I have some friends who are moms who work during the day when the kids are in school and they know they're never going to get the big promotion in the corner office and things like that, but it's their trade-off. They want to work. They want to have a life, work, home balance. They and their husband are perpetually exhausted at the end of the day with work, but they make ends meet, and they do fine. And oftentimes in this country, thanks to Joe Biden's economy, both parents do have to work. You can't make ends meet right now. But also, there are people like me who worked 3 jobs so my wife could stay home and do a really big, trying, stressful job, which is the full-time care of 2 kids. Then there's the other aspect of this, too, that you got to focus on. It's not just that they disagree with Harrison Butker. Harrison Butker must be punished for daring to say this. I can't tell you the number of times I've had progressives give speeches at colleges, universities, high schools. They give these speeches filled with progressive pablum. Nobody on the right demands they be fired. Nobody on the right demands they lose their job. But God forbid a conservative speak up at one of these institutions and suddenly the whole world comes down on them for daring to be different and to think different and to say different things that people find offensive. I hear plenty of things every day I find offensive, and I'm not out trying to fire the people who offend me. And yet the left can't abide it. Evil preaches tolerance until it's dominant, and then it seeks to silence good. It's Archbishop Chaput, a great quote of his. Evil preaches tolerance until it's dominant, and then it seeks to silence good. We see that on display in things like this. Harrison Butker has a wholesome life with his wife who stays home and raises the kids, and praised her for embracing that vocation and says, ladies, there's no shame in you wanting that instead of a career, and he must be silenced for daring to say that. The world of the left is censorious. The world of the left is one in which you can chant on the sidelines, death to the Jews, and get a pass. But if you say being a stay-at-home mom is kind of awesome, you must be fired from your job. This is the world in which we live. If Harrison Butker were to have beat up his wife, the NFL would have said nothing, but he praised his wife, so the NFL had to condemn him. The city of Kansas City, Missouri had to dox him and tell people where he lived to make sure people know he doesn't live in their city, and they want nothing to do with him. But they're perfectly happy for him to kick a winning field goal at the Super Bowl and make all the money and revenue off of him. They're perfectly happy for that. They just wish he would shut up because, people in his station of life aren't allowed to speak unless they have the views of the people in his station of life. It is raw bigotry and hatred from the political left in this country. He did nothing wrong. And by the way, all the Catholicism in his speech aside, me being the Calvinist Presbyterian, he's right.